Big Ben and Ian Miller appeared together for the first time on the international stage in 1984. From day one, people took notice of the pair.
I remember Big Ben as a big, rugged-looking gelding, 18 hands tall. Ian Miller, who is a great veteran, riding a horse that was somewhat different than the horses you'd typically seen him on. And Big Ben was all game.
The first thing that struck me about the horse was he was too big a horse. Very, very rarely do very, very big horses succeed in the sport of agility and quickness and whatnot.
It wouldn't take long for Big Ben to prove the doubters wrong.
He was incredibly smart, and people that deal with horses know that, and I mean it makes perfect sense that smart horses have more capabilities, but they're more difficult to train, you know, or to keep level. So the great thing about him is that he was smart and he had a huge heart.
Big Ben moved his way up the ranks at lightning speed, impressing everyone along the way. For such a large horse, he had amazing agility and skill.
Big Ben was set apart from all the other horses in my mind because he was this immense horse, massive, and yet on the field he was extremely cat-like and athletic.
He also learned to be an outstanding indoor horse and was as fast as any horse on the planet. And those were to a great extent learned skills, and which you wouldn't have expected a horse like that to do.
He learned to cut down the arc on a vertical, which I never saw a horse do, where he'd jump the height and then shorten the arc on the backside of the vertical enough that he could almost skim it behind. Skills like that make champions in the world.
From the get-go, Big Ben was a champion in the making. It took him only a year to reach the top level of competition, a level which normally takes several years to achieve.
I was so excited about the talent of the horse, about the disposition, the power I felt when I rode him.
In his heart, he always wanted to do the right things. And when it was really important, his heart always said, I know how to do it and I know how important this is.
In 1986, Big Ben started his long, lasting ride at the top.
I think he was the type of horse from the very early going that knew what he wanted, and he waited for Ian to come into the equation. And then Ian was going to be the fella that he worked with to deliver the goods.
The pair started delivering the goods in their first Spruce Meadows Derby. The Chrysler Classic is one of the most difficult competitions in the sport of show jumping. The course is nearly 1 kilometer long with many demanding natural obstacles. Clear rounds are almost unheard of. Big Ben's power and scope were obvious to all who looked on in 1986.
The highest in show jumping anywhere.
Ooh, and a slip coming off the bottom. Can he get organized? He does it. Big Ben clears it. Good execution by Miller to get Big Ben balanced again to jump that jump, and he's through the devil's left there. Just 4 jumps left to go.
This could be our new leader.
Big Ben and Ian Miller finished the course with no knockdowns and took home the trophy for an unbeatable performance. The 1986 Chrysler Classic win was the turning point, the point where Big Ben and Ian Miller never looked back.
They call him Captain Canada. He's really the ambassador of show jumping in Canada. Payday today, $21,000.
He had speed and agility, he had courage and boldness, and he had a ton of scope. He was the total package, and I don't think there's been more than 3 or 4 of them in the history of our sport.
In 1987, Big Ben and Ian Miller proved they were a force to be reckoned with. They kicked off their winning season during the summer tour at Spruce Meadows. Their sights were set on a 2nd consecutive win in the Chrysler Classic Derby.
Possibly have a jump off.
Well, we've seen Big Ben in operation all week, and we haven't seen knockdown at a single fence.
Ian did knock a fence down in 6 rounds in the World Cup Classic. Clear over the combination. Now the Spruce Meadows planks. Can he get Big Ben to jump
ready.
clear? And he makes it. We have a jump-off. A wonderful class.
Their clear round advanced them to a jump-off against fellow Canadian Laura Beliski. Beliski was the first to go with her horse Lavendel.
$21,500. Clear over A, clear over B, coming to the red planks. And I tell you, she's put the pressure.
Beliski finished with a perfect round in a time of 39.83 seconds. Ian Miller and Big Ben had no choice but to go clean and fast.
Ian's got Big Ben opened up. He's going to try and beat this time. What do you think, Laura? I think
pretty quick. I think he's a little ahead of me here. He left one out there, but he's
didn't get the same turn as you there, Laura.
No.
You're ahead of him now. Not quite as sharp. 39.83 is the time Ian has to beat. He took a much tighter turn there than Laura. Over the Liverpools.
The big gelding proved his might. They crossed the finish line 2 seconds faster. With that performance, Big Ben and Ian Miller laid claim to their second consecutive title in the Chrysler Classic Derby. The victory put them in the Spruce Meadows record book as the only horse-rider combination with back-to-back wins in the event. In the fall of 1987, Big Ben and Ian Miller returned to Spruce Meadows, fresh off an individual and team gold medal win at the Pan American Games. They arrived at the Masters with one goal in mind. The Du Maurier International was the biggest payday in the sport, and Big Ben and Ian Miller were looking to take home the top prize. As everyone was quickly learning, when this pair focused, they were almost unbeatable.
He was so clever about things, and just at the last second he'd know how to shift his weight or shift his balance, move a leg, just do something to miss the rail.
Round one of the Du Maurier International. A rub in the triple combination nearly spelled disaster for Ben. They made it through the course clear and advanced to round two. Big Ben gave it his all in the second round. He had unbelievable height over the triple this time. They finished clear and advanced to the jump-off. Germany's young Ludger Bierbaum was the first to go. Bierbaum went clear with a time that couldn't be beat until Ian Miller and Big Ben made their entrance.
When you saw him come through the clock tower, he seemed like he was 7 feet tall. And that's what you want to see in a show jumper, that when they come into a competitive ring and there's the crowd going wild, that they rise up to the occasion. And that's what Big Ben did, and so did Ian as well.
Big Ben and Ian Miller rose to the occasion in the 1987 Du Maurier International. They went clear in the jump-off and beat Bierbaum's time by nearly 7 seconds. Their goal of winning the most demanding Grand Prix in the sport was achieved. They were crowned champions of the 1987 Du Maurier International. Big Ben and Ian Miller solidified their position at the top of the sport, and they became the ones to beat for years to come.
Well, on behalf of my partner over there, the tall, slim chestnut, Big Ben, I'd just like to make a comment on career highlights. I was asked if this was a career highlight, and it sure